a pleasant Saturday. Welcome to Lone Star Park at Grand Prairie. Alongside Rodney Nelson, Railbird Rodney, I'm Jim Byers. Thanks a lot for joining us. You and Rick had good nights last night. I came up a couple of wins short of you last night. And yet last night, again, for the second straight night, was pretty formful. Half the winners were won by favorites, but there were some long shots mixed in. There's still lots of chances to make money, so we have carryovers in the pick six and the high five again on a night that should be really nice. Beautiful weather. The cold isn't going to come in tonight, so it should be
Fingers
beautiful.
crossed it doesn't get here early.
Yeah, let's hope not.
But tomorrow's supposed to be cool. But we got three stakes tonight.
Yeah.
The paint stakes, $5 Miller Lights, promotion in the gift shop. Buy a jacket, get some gloves for free. So what a Saturday night to be out here. We got plenty of ways to make money and to spend your money, too.
True, and it's our next to last Saturday of the meet. Week from today, Texas Classic Futurity, the richest horse race in Texas, the Derby and Oaks as well, the Refrigerator, all coming up. They just drew that card today. I haven't had a chance to look at it, but a week from today will wrap it up for the meet. So make it out here if you're not here, if you're looking in from somewhere. Make plans to join us this Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. On to the first. We kick right off with an 870, scratch number 9, Ice for Real. Race 1, $15,000 claimers, non-winners of 3, or you can be in for $15,000, and all but the 7 are in for the claiming tag.
Yeah, it looks like we're on the same horse here, the inside, My Famous Troubadour, number 1, my top choice, yours as well. If you look at how this horse has done this calendar year, 4 starts, has hit the board all 4 of them, 2 seconds, 2 thirds. And, this horse was up there close in these races. It's not like, he was beaten by 10 lengths or so in that second place or third place. But I think My Famous Troubadour, this one could get the job done tonight. I mean, he was in an optional claiming race last time out for non-winners of 4. And then is in here tonight for the $15,000 tag. Had a second in allowance race, 2 back. So, this horse has been running against some decent ones, you would figure. And I think this might be the time that he's able to pick up another win here. So I got the 1 on top, got the 4, Run Like the Devil as my second choice. This is a horse that's had some experience at this distance now, 6 starts, has a couple wins at this distance. I like that. One of the most recent win for the horse came at 870 yards down at Sam Houston, an allowance company, so pretty decent there. And then number 7, that's going to be my third choice, coming in here straight off a win.
Yeah, came in out of a win in a race similar to this, not exactly the same. It was a 15 optional claimer, but the condition was a little different, and raced very eagerly that day from the outside and really showed aggressive speed and was 3 wide and then had a really nice stretch drive. And I was impressed with that race, so I don't know why the 7 couldn't come right back and do it again, but I'm going to go with the rail as you are. And Rick Lee's picks on page 8. He has My Famous Troubadour as well. This is a long-term 8-year-old guy, not super heavily raced for an 8-year-old, just 27 starts. Knows the route, has been running reasonably competitively, as you say. Takes a little drop, just a notch. So I'm with him, too.
Hopefully just enough to win.
Yeah, exactly. Could be just a little bit of class drop needed. On to the second. Maiden claimers, 3 to 5 years of age. They're in for $5,000. They will go $220 and scratch the 11, Toast to Rally.
All right, so I'm on number 2, La Pandemia. All right, so this horse, the last 2 races were in $5,000 maiden claiming races like this one. The most recent one came at 250 yards. La Pandemia ran 3rd in that one, missing by half a length, but now shortens up. If you look at that comment, it says outfinished, so maybe 30 yards shorter. He doesn't get outfinished, and La Pandemia gets the win. So I'm hoping this one can get the job done from the 2-hole. I got number 9 as my second choice here. That's He's a Famous Eagle. A lot of experience for He's a Famous Eagle. 14 races, but has yet to pick up that win. Does have a handful of second and thirds. I mean, he's hit the board in 7 of those 14 starts. Just doesn't have the win. And you can see the 4 of the last 5 starts dating back to last year. He's a Famous Eagle has ran 3rd in those races. Yeah. So it's one that seems to come in behind the other ones. But last time out was in a 5,000 claiming race. Ran 3rd in that one, but it's had some time off since then. Gets back to the track tonight for that first race since June. We'll see what the horse has. And then I got the number 7, Mescatera, as my 3rd selection here, your top choice.
Yeah, I like this comeback for this filly last time. She had been off for about 11 months from the end of last meet until October 4th. Came back, ran a really competitive race, and they bet her down to 4-1. So they thought on the comeback for trainer Salvador Flores that she would be ready to go, and she only missed by 3 parts of a length and ran well and finished pretty well. Also gets to only go 220 here. So should have no trouble recovering from that first race off the layoff. Should be better this time, I would think. He's a famous Eagle. Your second pick. Also my second pick. He's very quick early. He has not really been staying the slightly longer distances. Maybe 220 will help him. And then I would take a look at Ethan's Timber Game, number 6. 30-1 on the line, but draws the second leading rider in the standings in Luis Vivanco. And this horse has run a distant last twice in a row, but they were against much better maidens, and this horse had serious trouble issues in each of his last 2. And if you go back to the debut, which was way back in July of last year, the comment mentioned promising debut, and he did run a reasonably competitive 4th. And then his last race of last year was here in September of 24. Horrible issues at the start, big start issues, So I think, and he's got a work that doesn't appear in the program. We'll be announcing it, but Ethan's Timber Game worked 220 in 12.34 just the other day on November 5th. So I would keep an eye on him. Some interesting jockey moves in that race. Vivanco was riding Mescatera. Now he rides this long shot Ethan's Timber Game. Victor Urrieta rode Ethan's Timber Game last time, and Urrieta's on the 8 in this race, so just some interesting switches. Third race. Scratch the 2 also eligibles, the 11 and 12, and a big scratch of the original morning line favorite, number 4, the Evangelist. 2-year-old, $10,000 claimers.
Yeah, so I'm going with number 5 now with the scratch. That's Atlas Rise. This horse was in for 7,500 last time out. It went 400 yards. Was up there right with the winner of that race the whole way down the racetrack, it looks like. Finished 4th, but was just beaten by a neck in that one. So it's taking a little bit of step up now from 7,500 to 10, but I don't think that makes too much of a difference. But before that, you see this horse was in straight and maiden races, had a futurity trial down at Sam Houston. Wasn't really embarrassed in any of those races. Beat about half the field in each one of those straight and maiden races. So maybe second time for a tag, Atlas Rise can get the job done. I got the 10 Political Wildfire as my second choice here. You see this horse was in maiden races, futurity trials. The best 2 races of this horse's career was like in a trial for the Heritage Place and then one for the Oklahoma futurity as well. So ran well in both of those, but they were a long time ago. That was back in May. Recently, October the 3rd, this horse had a race out here and was 4 lengths behind. But It looks like the horse had some trouble in that one. It says bumped. What does that say? Bumped hard late. Yeah. So, that never works out when you get bumped hard. But I think Political Wildfire, maybe this horse can have a little bit better run. In here for the tag for the first time. And then I got the 3 Roos Flying Man as my third choice here in race number 3.
This is an interesting race and very wide open because I really like the Evangelist, the scratched horse. I think he was the quality in the field, just coming out of nothing but big-time trials. He didn't fare very well in most of them, but making a big, big drop. With him out, I think it throws it wide open. Now, I've been periodically trying to beat favorites like Atlas Rise, who will now be a pretty heavy favorite, I think, because horses that run really, really well at a lower level of maiden competition but put up a really nice number. I generally try to beat them if they haven't done well at the better levels before they dropped. That was the case with him. He may very well come out and win. I tried to beat a couple of favorites yesterday, and it was not a good move. I'm going with the 1 First Sace Fancy from the inside. This horse has had start trouble in both of his outings, which were a maiden race and then a Texas Classic Futurity trial. He was way up the track in both of those. A little bit earlier this year, though, he fared a little bit better, including in a Sam Houston futurity trial in late May at big odds. He outran his odds. He got in front of Kazis Easy and wound up finishing a pretty close third after leading early in that one. I think there may be some talent in this guy. I saw him win a training race back at Remington in February, and so there's some talent in there. Maybe it'll come out here. On to the fourth. This is one of our paint nap stakes, the Olympia Joe. Scratch number 3, Frenchie. That leaves a field of a half dozen to go 400 yards.
Yeah, so there was 2 horses in this one I really liked. And, they're developing kind of a rivalry between them. That's the number 6, V Golden Game, my top choice, and the number 4, Rosario Tejeras. We see that these horses, the last 3 races, pretty much have been running against each other or so. And, sometimes it's V Golden Game. Last time out, it was Rosario Tejeras. So which way was I going to go today? I lean toward V Golden Game. I mean, this horse was the runner-up last time, just missed by a head to Rosario Tejeras. Picked up a win in a maturity down at Retama before that. Ran well down at the Gillespie County Fairgrounds. Picked up a stakes win before that at Sam Houston. So, I mean, this horse knows how to get up there. Has had a good record so far this year. Has finished in the money in all 6 starts in 2025. So, give me V Golden Game on top. I got the 4, Rosario Tejeras, as my second choice. Was that stakes winner last time out. This horse has put together back-to-back wins. Ran second in that maturity down at Retama. That V Golden Game won. Was just beaten by a head in that one. So, I mean, these 2 horses, like I said, a rivalry between the 2. And then I took number 5, Wiretap, as my third choice here. This horse ran in the Olympia Joe last year. Was the runner-up in that one. It's had some stakes races as of late. Was second last time out up at Will Rogers, missing by 3/4 of a length. I think this is going to be a fun race to watch with these paints running down the track.
I totally get the rivalry thing. I'm kind of disrespecting your rivalry angle here. I have one of your rivals 4th and the other one 3rd. I've got your rivalry 3rd and 4th. So there's going to be a showdown as to who's right. I'm leaning toward Wiretap here for Matt Whitekiller, mainly because he's been running against a filly that in Captain Fancy that has won 5 straight races, including one at 110 yards, but others at more normal distances. I've charted some of those races. I chart all of Will Rogers, so I've seen this guy go. He'll throw in a bad start every once in a while. There's no doubt about it, and he did not turn in a very good effort 2 outs ago at Will Rogers. I gave him the dull effort comment, which typically I don't go too negative on the comments. If they're outrun, I usually just indicate that. But he came back with a good effort last time. I think on balance, he's a really nice horse. He's earned $96,700. Totally respect V Golden Game and Rosario Tejeras, but I think P.T. Rose, coming off the bench, was with a different barn last year, but won for Edith Mojica back in July at Retama, an allowance company. P.T. Rose was a really nice one last year, so I'm going to give him the second pick in here. I think it's a good race.
I think it's very good.
I think
2, 3, 4, 5,
Yeah, with those 4, 2, 4, 5, 6.
They're all going to come out right next to each other.
Yeah. You can put them in a blender, as they say, and come up with a lot of different combinations.
It might form a V, like a gaggle of geese flying.
Exactly.
Yeah. And that's what a group of geese is, a gaggle,
yes,
right?
Exactly.
All right. See, I learned something in school.
There you go. On to the 5th. 330 yards. Non-winners of 3 allowance company here. Scratch the 4. Lethally Tempted. I got a bomb in this one.
I don't. I've got Mad Indian, 9-2 on the line. The last 3 races, this horse has been in allowance races, been pretty decent. Won one that was 3 starts back at Sam Houston, came in second at Retama, a 4th place finish here on October the 3rd, but was only beaten by a length in that race. The 3rd place finisher of that horse went on to win its next race, so pretty decent one there. I think Mad Indian can have a good chance of winning this race. I got number 5, Darling Secret, as my second choice here. I like Darling Secret. This horse, last 3 races, all of them allowance races, and has been the runner-up 3 times in a row. Has finished second 4 of the last 5 times. So it was hard for me not to pick this horse second. But, 4 seconds from 7 starts out here at Lone Star Park. Has 2 seconds at this distance as well. coming in rolling. I mean, just missed by a couple heads in those last two races. I think that Darling Secret might be one to watch. And then I got Ira Ann picked third off a second-place finish last time out here over our track. A fourth before that, an Allowance Company only beaten by half a length in a field of 9. I think it's going to be another good race here. And we finally get to see Insta Millionaire, who was scratched off the also eligible list like
twice
3 weeks in a row, it seemed like.
You know, I'm going for a bomb here. And what's interesting is your top pick isn't in my top 4 and vice versa. I'm going with Top Flying Cowboy. I think this horse might be getting overlooked a little here. Comes from the Trey Wood Barn. The Texas Classic Derby trial that this horse comes out of featured 4 qualifiers, 4 of the top 10. First, second, third, and fourth place finishers all made the final. It was one of the later trials, if not the last trial on there. I think some of the races where Top Flying Cowboy has been in with horses that he can compete with, he's done pretty well. The problem is, he was 96-1 and ran 8th in that Texas Classic Derby trial. He's been a big long shot in some other trials, but scattered over his 12 races have been some good efforts, and I think he gets a field here that's reasonably wide open. I'm a little worried about Darling Secret just because that mare is super quick, really fast, and is going to have a big part of it early. I have respect for your horse, Insta Millionaire as well, but I'm going to try Top Flying Cowboy. One thing I like, it's second off a layoff and a fast work heading into that return from the layoff. So I think he might have the quickness to factor in here. We'll see. I'm curious to see if he's 20-1 too for a Trey Wood horse like that. On to the 6th. Texas bred, 2-year-olds. These are maidens, 7,500 the tag, 250 the distance.
All right, I was hoping we were going to agree on this one, and we did. Mr. Coyote 5-0, the 4 here in this race. The first 3 races of this horse's career, maiden claiming races, had a couple of them at $10,000. 2 starts back, he was in for $7,500. Ran well in all of those races. And then last time out decided to go again in a straight maiden race and ran well in that one, only beaten by 3 parts of a length in a third-place effort. That was a short one at 220. Like I said, this horse barely missed at 250 a couple times. I think Mr. Coyote 5-0 is the one to beat here in this race. I got the number 1, Chicks with Beers, as my second selection. Went 220 last time out, had a good run, missed by 3/4 of a length. If you look at the 3 races for Chicks with Beers, each one of them has that little trouble indicator there. So hopefully a better run, and this horse is going to have a better result. And then I took number 7, GW Willie Poruno, as my third choice. First-time starter here in this field. It's a $7,500 claiming race. I've seen weird stuff happen before. Maybe this one could get up for one of the minor placings, but had a decent workout back on Halloween. So it was 2 of 7 on the morning, was 4 of 11 back on the 22nd of October as well. So, 2 workouts in a row. This horse has been up there quick, 220 yards in both of those, so just going to have to go a little further here. We'll see if this first-time starter can't get up and do something good here.
Yeah, I like the idea. I didn't do it in this case, but I like the idea of throwing in a first-timer in a race like this where it's lower-level maiden claimers. Some of them don't have the world's greatest form. And why not? Especially the 7 horse has a good work of Ratama as well back in July. So that, this horse can move some, at least in the mornings. I'm on Mr. Coyote 5-0 as well. Clear cut for me. Has the best form, in my opinion, by far in here. Over Chicks with Beers, Gin Spirit for Zach Rios gets a look as well for me for third. Let's advance to the 7th. Start of the pick 6. Carry over $3,398 in the pick 6. Fillies and mares, 3 and up. Non-winners of 2 in this short one, $250.
So I took Bailey's, the 8 horse here. This is probably going to be your favorite. Last time out, this horse ran a bang-up race out here. Ended up beating everybody by 2 lengths in that race. Showed some speed getting out of the gate. So why not go with Bailey's coming in here fresh off that big win? The number 1, She's Fancy Prize, is going to be my second choice here. This horse was in trials for both the Rainbow and the All-American Oaks. was outrun in both of them, but, was at least gave it a try over there in Ruidoso. At Remington Park this year, this horse put together, got a win in a maiden race there back at the end of May. Has had one start here at Lone Star during the meet. That was an allowance company, kind of like this one. So, I don't know. I'm kind of lukewarm on all the rest of them after that, but Bailey's I think wins this. And then I got number 7, Who's a Lulu, 12 to 1 on the line is my third choice. This horse had a long layoff from April at Remington Park, where this horse won a claiming race there. Got back to the track on the 18th of October right here. Ran 5th in that one, so second back after a layoff. We'll see if this horse is ready to go. 8-1-7 here in race 7.
Now, Who's Lulu and Knockout number 6 are extremely fast. And at 250 yards, they could both be dangerous in here, even though I think they're facing some fillies who have done more at higher levels. I like Bailey's. Her last race was just absolute domination and very impressive. The E-Speed number is, really, really good. There's only a couple fillies in here that have matched that E-Speed figure, one of whom is my second choice coming off the bench since April, Jessica Corona Peach. When we last saw her, she was running against filly allowance horses at Remington and ran 3rd. Last year, she was 3rd in the FL Ladybug. That's an Oklahoma-bred graded stake. Or not graded, it's just an Oklahoma-bred stakes race at Remington. She's been decent off and on. I think behind Bailey's it's kind of wide open, but I would be definitely interested to see if the 6 and 7 with their speed, how they factor in that short one. 8th race begins the pick 5. Scratch the 10, Jam Jess City. These are 250. This is a 250 race for 2-year-olds.
Yeah, number 4, BTD Heart of Gold, top selection for me here. Has been off since that Remington meet, but this horse did run a good second, missing about 3/4 back in April. Had that time off, but, look at the workout tab. 2 of them right here at Lone Star. Both of them have been pretty decent. The most recent one was just on the 7th of this month, or of October. I'm sorry, we're in November now. 7th of October, had a good workout, 3 of 18 on the morning. Go ahead and give me this one for my top choice. The number 3, Miss Bogart, that's going to be my second selection here. This horse came close to picking up the win last time out, missed by a head. The races before that, this horse hasn't been embarrassed in any of those races. Was up there, in contention. So I think Miss Bogart, that's a logical choice here for the top 3. And then number 7, Fast Cholitos. It's going to be my third pick. Came close last time out, just missed by a neck in a 4th-place effort. That was the first one back after a layoff, so making that second start now after having some time off. We'll see if Fast Cholitos is ready to go. 4, 3, and 7 in the 8th.
Yeah, BTD Heart of Gold was with a different trainer, and I'm not knocking this trainer. I'm not familiar with him, but he was 1 for 43 on the year back in. He was with this trainer back in April. Now he's with James J. Gonzalez, who has not had a stellar meeting, but a very good operation, very good trainer. Not that that's going to make a world of difference, but he did change trainers. He was highly regarded back in the spring, BTD Heart of Gold. He's had some time off. I think he's going to be really tough here off the comeback. The one I'm curious about, too, is the 6 Race Queen. That's Rick Lee's long shot pick of the day. Race Queen was 7-2 in her debut, fresh off a training race at Remington back in February. Went into an Oklahoma Futurity trial. Ran very poorly, but the racetrack was sloppy and sealed. I went and watched the race. I'm not saying it was slick. It wasn't. But it looked like newly Zamboni'd ice, like the rain had just fallen. So it was wet and smooth. And she maybe didn't like the going. That's my guess. Now she goes from Trey Wood to Juan Vasquez. I like Trey Wood. I like Juan Vasquez. To me, that's kind of a lateral move. I think she could be dangerous in here. 9th race, Texas Hero Juvenile. 400 yards in race 9. These didn't quite make it into the Texas Hero Futurity. And one note here, Barb's Captain, the 8, is back on Lasix tonight after getting off of Lasix for her last 2 starts.
Well, I'm going to go with number 5, Cholitos Wagon here in this Texas Hero Juvenile. Ran 4th in the trial race but wasn't beaten too bad, 3/4 of a length behind. If you look, it says broke in, so, maybe the clean start, this horse is better, but this horse was a stakes winner 2 starts back. So I won that race by a length and a half, so a pretty decent margin of victory there. There was another next out winner that ran third in that one. So I think Cholito's Wagon, this is one that's going to be fun to watch here in the Texas Hero Juvenile. I got number 9, Cholula, as my second choice. This is a horse that just came in right in front of my top choice, Cholito's Wagon, last time in that trial race. But, Cholula, this horse has had a pretty good record, has a win, a second, and a couple thirds from 10 starts so far this year. So I'll take this horse for second. Then I got the 2, WL Post Malone, as my third choice here in race 9.
I'm gonna try for a modified bomb here with the 4, KJ All of the Marbles. This horse has had a lighter campaign than some of these. The Paints and Apps, they get going early at Remington. They run 4 futurities for them, or at least 3 big ones in the spring at Remington. And this horse wasn't really involved in any of that, although did make the American Paint Classic and run a reasonably competitive 5th. Last time out, all of the marbles, Cholito's Wagon broke right into him, slammed into him, as it says in the comment, and eliminated KJ All of the Marbles. I mean, he just got blasted. And Cholito's Wagon ran on and ran pretty well, and always does reasonably well. But I'm going to try with the 3. Cholula, I thought, ran a little bit more impressive visual trial than Cholito's Wagon. You get 2 Cholitoses there.
I know.
To pick 1, 2, and you could have actually gone for
had
the
3,
4. Yeah, but that's okay. You like Cholitos as I do, but we're not fanatics about it. On to the 10th. Scratch the 11. MM Lady. 350 yards, maiden, 2-year-old fillies.
All right, let's hit number 9, Miss Painted Eagle, top choice here. It's had 2 races. The first one at Albuquerque. Ran 7th in that one, so let's forget about it. Focus on the most recent one back on the 27th of September right here. Ran a good 3rd in that one, missed by 3/4 of a length, bumped at the break. So I'll take number 9 here. Number 1, Firehawk's going to be my second choice. This horse had a runner-up, finished 2 starts back. Last time out, went 400 yards on a muddy track in a trial race. 6 of 8 in that one, but let's look at that one. 2 starts back, and this horse looks pretty decent. And then number 4, CR Pearl, is going to be my third choice. Coming in here out of the trial, off a trial race. Has been against maidens before. The 1 2 starts back against maidens, ran a good second in that one. So 9, 1, and 4 for race 10.
Miss Painted Eagle comes out of a really nice race. That was in late September here. My pick as well. Ran a really nice 3rd. Baby Has Red Queens was the winner of that. A next out winner, Big Daddy's Secrets, was in that race. That was a really productive race for a straight maiden race here. The ones that came out of that tended to fire well. I like her in this one a fair amount. Exodus, my second pick, the 8, has run 4th all 3 times. $50,000 yearling purchase at the TQHA sale. May have some talent. We really haven't seen much of it yet, but I'm going to go with her. And then Ginger G, 1, 2, 3, the 7, trying for a little suck-along effect there with those outside. Grade 1, Texas Hero Futurity is the 11th. Let's advance on to that one. 400 yards. They had trials for this on October 17th. Fastest qualifier was Turbulent. I see you are going back to one of your favorites.
I like that one.
And a horse who's had a really good year in Jackson Davis 747.
Yeah, I'll take Jackson Davis 747, the horse on the rail. 15-1 morning line on this horse. So I really like it because of the odds that are on the morning line. But last time out, this horse ran a trial race, ran 5th in that trial, but was only beaten by a length by Turbulent, the fastest qualifier. Before that, this horse put together back-to-back wins of stakes and a futurity as well. Before that, you see this horse had some close-up finishes. Has 4 wins from 8 starts so far this year in some decent races as well. Give me Jackson Davis 747 on top. Number 9, Turbulent. I'll take this horse, winner of that trial race, the fastest qualifier here to the Texas Hero Futurity. Has 2 wins in the last 3 races. And then I took number 2, Turnpike Jammer, as my third selection here. Came out of a nice trial race. missing by half a length in that one. This horse put together back-to-back wins earlier this year, so we'll see how it turns out here in the Texas Hero Futurity. But go Jackson Davis, 747. Let's get paid in this one like Johnny Manziel.
All right. Yeah, well, he should be a decent price in here. I like Turbulent because her trial, keep in mind, it's a race against the clock, and the riders know that. But Roman Cruz, the jockey, very good rider, never uncocked the whip. He drove this filly, got in great rhythm with her. The whip stayed, right in the holster like it is. And he just rode her to the finish on her own courage, and she still put up the fastest time in a trial that qualified 5 horses, everybody down to Jackson Davis qualified. Plus, this filly, she's had a little bit of finals-itis where she does well in the trials. In the Pot of Gold, she had a very slow start at Will Rogers. Earlier in the year in the Graham, the Graham Speed Horse, she followed a great trial with a little bobble and was up the track. In the American Paint Classic, she finished 3rd. So, a little bit of finals-itis. She did win the Oklahoma Paint Nap Futurity early in the year. I'm going to go with her in this spot.
Yeah, I mean, she's banked $125,000 pretty much. So,
yeah, that Oklahoma Paint Nap Futurity is worth $208.
Yeah,
she
that's
won
a pretty
that,
good one.
so that's where a lot of her money has come from. But good race. The trials, I watched them all because there are only a few of them, and it's hard to differentiate just visually off the trials. On to the 12th. The carryover in the high 5 up to $37,113. 12th race, 250 yards, maiden 2-year-olds scratched to 10 and 11. And you've got my top pick second, so we've got a potential bomb coming there in that 12th race.
We got our top 2 switched here. So I got a Cool Dream to 7, 6-1 on the line. This horse is making its second start. I like Angel Sanchez. He sends out some good winners. Nestor Duran going to ride this horse, it looks like. All you can pretty much go off is the workouts, but this horse had a workout back in September at the Downs at Albuquerque. Comes over here to Texas to run in this race. So let's see if a cool Dream can get it done, and then I'll let you talk about Popping Off here.
Popping Off is a first-time gelding. He was a colt when he ran on May 31st at Houston. He was 13-1. He didn't, really didn't do all that much. Ran a couple lengths back of the leader all the way. Has had time off. I like the 2 works. Like the fact that he's coming off the bench. He was a $60,000 yearling, and that kind of, exceeds what they thought of some of the other youngsters in this race. Not that that automatically means anything, but I think a lot of signs point to this guy coming back off the bench, having been gelded, having had a few months off. And not a bad debut, but nothing spectacular, but a chance to improve. A cool Dream is first time out for Sanchez. He did not have this filly in April at Houston. He's 19% winning when he's sending one out for the first time in his care. COP Keating gets off the rail. That's the favorite. Has run 2 reasonably nice races here, but I just want to go a little different way here and try to mix it up a little.
Well, if you want to win that jackpot super high 5, you got to have some bombs in there. You got to have the only winning ticket, and with $37,000 in that carryover, hey, let's put 7 and 5 on top and see what goes after that.
Happens, yeah. Die FDD Dancer, the 1, by the way, has drawn the rail for the 3rd straight time, so his connections have got to be wondering what the heck is going on with their luck drawing post positions. All right, that's it. 75 degrees. We need to move along here to keep things on schedule. 29 minutes to post. Track is fast. Rodney will have his previews throughout the course of the evening, so enjoy that. Don't forget, $5 Miller Lights all night long, available here in the grandstand. And the buy a jacket in the Corral gift shop, get a free pair of gloves, so it'll be a nice one. Thanks a lot for looking in, and good luck tonight.
In the event of an emergency, Lone Star Park is dedicated to ensuring the safety of our patrons.